že sme tu. Dneska je 376. 376. tréningový deň Noblového potkana. Samozrejme to tvrdé raz nerozbaliť. Dáme upload ešte tento zvytok. Mám ťažké dni v týchto vojnových časoch. Všetci vieme, že to nevieme lízať. Všetci vieme, situácia nedobrá. Ale tak teda snažíme sa. Snažíme sa to nejako vyfluktualizovať. Dneska je 376. deň. Tento píče zhovorí.
It's often said that Republicans don't fight hard enough, and I agree with that. We need more fighters like Tommy and others. We have some good fighters, but we don't have enough of them. We have some bad ones too. But they never said that about Trump, and I think it's one of the reasons that you like me. It's one of the reasons that I like you, and it's one of the reasons I like Alabama, because you're fighters. And you'll see that on the very first day of my presidency. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. In the most recent Rasmussen poll, we are up by 44 points, with Trump at 57%, Ron DeSanctimonious at 13%, and the rest of them are very low. Even last week's New York Times poll has me up by 37 points. 37, that's a lot. What do you think, Kay? It's hard to blow a 37. We're going to be we will not play prevent defense. Is that okay? They're the football players and the great people, and you are a great football state. We know all about prevent defense. You hold the team scoreless for almost 4 quarters. You just have to do it one more time. And the coach goes, prevent. Touchdown, touchdown. We don't play prevent. We will fight, and we will fight hard, but we're at a level that we've never been at. We have the highest poll numbers we've ever had, and that's because the people of our country are disgusted with what's happening. We're dominating crooked Joe Biden in the general election. The Harvard-Harris poll, not a good poll for me ever, has me way up and leading by 5, 6, and 7 points, with Trump up 18 points among independents. You know, you keep hearing about independents. How is he going to do with the independents? You know, independents like to have great walls, and they want to have, you know, we built almost 500 miles of wall, and then we were going to build another 200. And we had Mexico come in and give us 28,000 soldiers free of charge. You know, they say, oh, did you charge Mexico? I told the president, we need 28,000 soldiers while the wall is being built. And he looked at me, he said, no, 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 we cannot, 28,000. He thought I was crazy. I said, no, no, you will give it, you will give it. We need 28,000 soldiers. And he said, well, you know what, you're going to have to make a presentation. I said, you send whoever you want. And I said that to his top representatives. We want them, and we want them fast. We want them by Monday morning, 28,000. They said, no, no, we will not do that. I said, yes, you will. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. And the State Department people thought that I was a little crazy. They said, you know, this guy's asking for stuff. We've been after this for many years, like stay in Mexico. I got that too. I said, give me to the State Department. A woman, very good, but she never won anything because Mexico would give her nothing. She worked on Mexico for 25 years. Good woman, never got anything. I said, give me a top 10 list. Give me the list I want. And I see my great Mike Lindell. By the way, he's the single greatest advertiser in history. I don't know what the hell, I don't know how much money you can make with pillows. You know, if it was oil, I understand. I don't understand the pillow stuff, but I'll tell you, he's a true patriot. I see him sitting right there, and he loves it. How many rallies have you come to? Like 50 or 70 or something? But Mike is a great guy. Go buy his pillows or his slippers or his towels, whatever the hell you want, just buy it. But they said to me, they said, no, no, we will not do it. I said, yes, you will. Here's the story. we're going to put a tariff on your cars and all the other things you're selling into the United States of America where you're making a fortune of 25%. That's billions and billions of dollars. And if you don't give us those soldiers, by Monday morning, I'm putting that tariff on and I'm signing it right now, right in front of you. Here it is. I'm signing it. I signed it. Sir, we'd like to have a 5-minute pause. May I make a phone call? So he went and called, I assume the president of the country. Came back 5 minutes later. Now, he was saying, absolutely we wouldn't give. Now he goes, sir, it would be our great honor to give you 28,000 soldiers to protect your border. We think that's very, and it would be our great honor to create a policy of stay in Mexico. You know, they used to stay in our country. That was the end of it. We wanted them to stay in Mexico, and we wanted them to come in maybe to our country after they've been checked out. So we had hundreds of thousands of people staying in Mexico, right on the other side of the wall that we built, and worked out very well. We had a very good relationship, actually, with the president of Mexico. He's a socialist, but that you can't have everything, but we had a very good relationship. But we got everything. We got so many other things, literally with phone calls. You know the story in France where they were going to charge us 25%, they were going to charge us a tremendous amount for any company doing business in France. They were going to charge us a lot of money, these companies. I said, you can't do it. I gave it to my people. I said, tell them they can't do it. They came back a week later, well, they won't listen to us. They're going to do it. It's almost too late. I think it's being passed. So I called up Emmanuel Macron. I said, Emmanuel, you're not going to charge 25% to our companies doing business in France. What the hell do they need France for anyway? You're not going to do it. He said, oh, Donald, it is too late. I'm sorry, it's too late. I said, well, I'll tell you what's too late. On Monday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm putting a 100% tariff tax on your wine and champagne that comes into the United States. That takes place at 7 o'clock on Monday morning. This was a Friday. So you let me know within the next half hour what's going to happen, but we are putting a tax on it. I've just signed the bill, and it's going to go into an effect in 2 days. And he called me back about 2 minutes later. He said, Donald, we have decided not to put the 25% tax on. We have decided. Now, that's the good news. The bad news, as soon as Biden got in, they put all sorts of bad things in, and nobody calls him. Do you think Biden calls him and says, by the way, you're not going to put that tax on? You think that happens? I don't think so. He doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. And in the big new premise poll, we're beating Biden by 5 points, with the sanctimonious losing to Biden 33-38. The sanctimonious is actually not doing a good job. You know, you wonder why I don't like him, because I got him elected. He was losing badly. He was down many, many points, I think like 38 or 40 or some ridiculous number. He actually talks about it in the old days. And he came to my office, tears in his eyes, saying, please, can I have your endorsement? I said, listen, you're so far down, to a man named Adam Putnam, who was the Secretary of Agriculture, which is a big deal in Florida. He was down by many, many, many points. Many points. It was over. I said, if I brought back George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, you don't have a chance. He said, sir, I'm telling you, if you endorse me, I'll win. So I remember that I saw him on television a couple of times talking about the impeachment hoax #1 and impeachment hoax #2 and fighting for me a little bit. He was no Jim Jordan. He was no, some of the great guys we have, but he was fighting for me a little bit. Always on television. I said, and I didn't know Adam Putnam, unfortunately, for him. So I endorsed Ron DeSanctimonious, and he went like a rocket ship. And he took this massive lead immediately, like it took one night. And he went from being way, way down to being way, way up. He ended up winning the primary in a landslide a very short time later. But then he couldn't have won the general because he was running against the guy Gilliam. Remember the guy who was going to be the star of the Democrats? African-American man, a very handsome man. Turned out to be a crack addict, but we don't have to mention that. But he was the hottest one. Him and Stacey Abrams were the two hottest politicians in the Democrat Party. He was going to be the next president, they said. He's going to be the next. First, he's going to be governor. And DeSanctimonious comes up to me. I can't beat him. There's no way. I said, look, we'll do some rallies. Would you? Could you do 3? I said, 3 is a lot. But I ended up doing 3 rallies for him. and they were big. They had thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You know about our rally. We had, in your little area a little while ago, we had a rally, 68,000 people. We broke Elvis's record, right? So I did these rallies for him, and he ended up winning. He won. It was a big upset. He ended up winning. And then 3 years later, they said, "Are you going to run for president against the former president?" And he said, "I have no comment." He said, "He has no comment. That means he's running." That son of a bitch. And he has been like, "Gee." So with those people, Lee Greenwood, when they ask, we have to do a song about this, I think, Lee, but when they ask me whether or not I like him, I'm not a big fan of his. Not a big fan. I like loyalty. You know, they told me that loyalty doesn't matter in politics. Some of my geniuses right backstage right now, "Sir, don't tell that story because loyalty doesn't matter in politics." I said,
All right, so that is former President Trump there speaking a bit earlier tonight in Montgomery, Alabama. Taking a live look right now. This is over at the White House in D.C., a live look. Now, former President Trump was speaking in Montgomery, touching on the indictment and had some choice words for President Biden and Special Counsel Jack Smith, reiterating, quote, "I'm being indicted for you." Now, it's important to note federal officials have said there's been no evidence of widespread voter fraud or manipulation of voting machines in the U.S. Multiple reviews in the battleground states where Trump disputed his loss did confirm those election results were accurate. They have also vowed to ensure the integrity of the election again in 2024.
This is the 7 News special report.
Lynn Martinez in the 7 Newsplex breaking in a program to bring you this chase. Look at that white vehicle. Could be a white Lexus at the top of your screen there going northbound on the Florida Turnpike. Started in Miami-Dade County. This driver is flying. Has not hit anybody as far as we know. No accidents. Let's go to Ralph Rayburn. He's been following this chase for us. Ralph?
Hi, Lynn. Good afternoon. This is a vehicle, the white vehicle that you see at the top of the screen there. That white Lexus was reported stolen, was part of a carjacking that occurred, an attempted carjacking that occurred earlier this morning down in US 1 around, I want to say 250th Street, something like that. One of those bolos that they read out that the vehicle was missing or had been stolen, and allegedly at gunpoint and allegedly with an AK-47. There were believed to be two people inside the vehicle, the driver and then the person with the rifle. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. What we just passed, Joe? We just passed Commercial northbound. We do have an aviation unit from Dade County up over this calling out information as to exactly where the vehicle is, and we also have a trooper that you saw down below there, one of those beige and black Florida Highway Patrol troopers that's following the vehicle right now. They're efforting to get more assets, that's the term that they used, to continue to follow this vehicle and try to get this vehicle stopped. It is traveling at a pretty brisk pace right here. We have not coordinated yet the speedometer that we can put up there sometimes to show you, but the vehicle continues northbound on the turnpike. And as we said just a short time ago, the police have been following it now. Well, we didn't say a short time ago. They've been following it probably now for the better part of maybe 10 minutes coming here northbound. Traffic is pretty light right now in this area of the turnpike, and the vehicle is unimpeded at this point. I'll bring the camera back out. I don't want to lose that shot, but we'll show you exactly how far back. We're zoomed out, Max out there. And he's going faster. My pilot, Joe Mancino, just told me he's going faster than we can go right at this point. And we do not see a trooper right now in the camera view, but we are following this vehicle. We do know that the police are following the vehicle. The two suspects allegedly inside, wanted for an armed carjacking that occurred earlier today, Lynn.
So I was going to ask you if you could ask your pilot, Joe, how fast you guys are going, and if you could guesstimate how fast this driver's going. He's been flying across all these people.
I'm not hearing any IFB at all right now. If anybody downstairs can hear me, I'm sorry about that. I can't hear anything. I'm just going to continue to talk, Lynn. Then where are we now, Joe? We're just passing Atlantic, coming up on Covens Road, northbound. This white Lexus vehicle, sports vehicle that was taken earlier today. in a what they call an armed 29. That means somebody had a weapon of some kind or displayed a weapon of some kind as a threat to get the vehicle. A driver gave up the keys, and two people hopped in that vehicle and took off in it. They read a bolo, that's a be on the lookout for that vehicle, over the Miami-Dade police radio there earlier this morning, describing the vehicle and giving the tag number and that information out to all agencies. The vehicle was spotted, and they started to follow it. I think the driver realized that there we see the vehicle go right around another vehicle in the breakdown lane. Very dangerous situation. Want to remember to advise our viewers that this is live and it's unedited. We don't know what's going to happen here. Sometimes these things end badly. Sometimes they end up when the vehicle has an accident or runs out of gas, or the driver just decides to give up. But right now, this driver is going at a very, very fast pace here northbound. Where are we coming up on, Joe? Coming up on Sample Road right now. That's Sample Road. We just went under or underneath the overpass there. It continues northbound on the turnpike. Two suspects believed to be in that vehicle wanted for an armed carjacking that occurred earlier. I apologize, but my normal communications to the station and through the system there, I'm hearing nothing but static on the comms right now. So if you're asking me a question or want to say something, I'll just stop talking here and count to 30, and you guys can say what you want to say.
All right. Well, so Ralph can't hear me, but we certainly can hear him very well. You're looking at a live picture from Ralph
I can hear
Rayburn.
you now, yeah. The level is super low.
That's okay. We'll work on that, Ralph, on our end. This driver is driving extraordinarily fast, dangerously fast there on the Florida Turnpike northbound, going on the shoulder, the right shoulder and the left shoulder, past Sample Road. Sounds like a good half mile
Hey,
ago.
Lynn, I'm going to come back in and just start up again here. We're just passing the Sawgrass Expressway. You'll see it here in just a second. There's the Sawgrass vehicle northbound there. You see the Sawgrass Expressway sign there. And again, there are believed to be two people in that vehicle that is northbound on the turnpike. The vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed. It is a white Lexus sports vehicle capable of pretty high speeds as it displayed so far, not stopping as they go northbound. I do have an undercover, what I believe is an undercover car coming up here behind it. There you go, right in there. He's coming into the screen right now. So we do have an active police pursuit. That looks like a county vehicle. That's a Miami-Dade County Police vehicle right there, coming up behind it right there. And there are several others behind it. I don't want to zoom out too far and lose the focus of the chase right here. But there are, I count now, at least 3 county vehicles, green and whites, coming northbound here. Where are we about now, Joe?
You can see the police cars right above those 2 words that say special report. So Ralph is saying 3 county police cars are chasing this particular Lexus that Ralph says was reportedly stolen. We also know that they're also chasing this particular driver and suspect from the air as well, so they're on top of this driver. Ralph told us a few minutes ago this car driver refuses to stop because it was involved in an armed robbery. Go ahead, Ralph.
With you again. Palmetto Park Road is the cross street here on the turnpike as this police chase now that's probably 15 minutes old continues northbound on the turnpike. The vehicle unimpeded at this time continues at a high rate of speed there using the breakdown lane on the far right side and then swerving back across slower traffic probably doing upwards of 60 or 70 miles an hour, so it gives you an idea of exactly how fast. Glades Road would be the next road northbound as this vehicle being pursued by police continues northbound. There are several Miami-Dade police units behind the vehicle. There's a Miami-Dade helicopter that was overhead here. There's also some troopers now I see coming into the picture here. Let me just zoom out just a little bit, see if you can see them there. There you see the one police cruiser. The guard looks like they're getting off here, Joe. Getting off right here. What is this? Glades Road. Glades Road and going eastbound on Glades Road. Almost lost control there. He can turn westbound if he wants here, I'm being told, but right now he's continuing underneath us here going, yeah.
Okay, so Palm
Right
Beach,
there,
not
he's in the
Boca.
center
So they're in
lane.
Palm Beach County right now, got off at Glades Road, was
Going westbound. He's going to be going westbound.
And there's a red light.
Through the intersection there against the light and into slower traffic now. Slower traffic trying to work his way around it. There are several units behind that vehicle, but he's come into slower traffic there underneath the overpass there. And coming up on, let's see here, yeah, he's going to continue westbound. We're
So
going
you-
westbound. We're just a little bit north of the Sawgrass Expressway here, got off the Glades Road, got off the expressway there, and the turnpike and continues now.
So if you're just now joining
to
us, I'm going to
some
interrupt Ralph
uncharted
because he can't
areas
hear
right
me,
here.
but we are watching a live police chase there. Now we're in Palm Beach County, started in Miami-Dade County, went to Broward County. Let's listen in where he's at now. These are two suspects involved in a carjacking.
So we're just going to kind of hang with the picture here. We warned our viewers at home and online there a short time ago. Going to be going southbound now. And past the shopping center here into a community. They're going to see the police helicopter here come through the picture here just a short period of time. Yeah, he's turning the police helicopter is too, Joe, right there. And he's making a curve. Yep.
So driving
Let's see
quickly,
here.
not stopping, but not going as fast as he
Okay,
was on the
being told
turnpike.
It's 441. Yeah, I think it's 441. And there's the intersection of Lyons Road right there. This is Lyons Road. This is Lyons Road. So we're on Lyons Road there. Slower speeds right now. And coming up to Palmetto Park Road here. Driving around slower vehicles here, but you can see there now right between those two vehicles. Very, very dangerous situation here. As these people try to elude the police department there from the air and from the ground. We're just going to continue to follow here. We're still on looking at Lyons Road there.
So this driver has slowed down, but again, as Ralph has said, they're on Lyons Road right now in Palm Beach County. We're talking just 2 lanes here. There's plenty of red lights that this driver is refusing to stop for. And you know, we always wonder when we see these live police chases, what is going through the minds of the driver, because 95% of the time they are pulled over by police. They are caught, and honestly, that number is probably even
A lot of
higher.
traffic being told they go to the wrong side onto the oncoming traffic there, Lynn, into oncoming traffic. Our information tells us he's doing about 60 miles an hour. You see the cars swerving out of the way now back into the correct lane of travel, continues on Lyons Road, still going. Let's see here, we'll let it correct here, but we're around 60, 70 miles an hour here on past slower traffic. I'll bring the camera back out here, see what's up ahead.
Yeah, but these are
What is it, Hillsborough? Hillsborough Boulevard?
Hillsborough, okay.
We're still
now
going
we've gone
southbound,
through,
right?
We've gone through 3 counties,
Still
Miami-Dade, Broward,
southbound here.
Palm Beach, and now Hillsborough. This driver refusing to stop, involved allegedly
Yeah,
in an
weaving
armed
in
robbery.
and around cars here.
Ralph said earlier that this is believed to be a stolen vehicle, using a
Again,
high-powered
Lynn into
weapon.
the wrong lane of traffic, Lynn. Sorry to interrupt you there. This is coming up on Southwest 18th Street through the intersection against the lights here, swerving around oncoming traffic and traffic that had the right of way there. So a very dangerous situation here, and as we've done it now several times here, we're warning our
So we're
viewers
now-
at home that we don't know how this is going to play out. Sometimes these
Right.
things end badly.
We're back in Broward County,
We
Ralph.
have
I'm
to
just going to
govern your
interrupt
watching
you.
habits accordingly.
So we were in Palm Beach County, Hillsborough, now we're back in Broward County. So yeah, we've seen this driver just do some dangerous moves there on the Florida Turnpike, flying down the shoulder of each side. That was a few minutes ago. This is a live picture there of this chase now in northern Broward County. This driver refusing to stop. Police say it's a stolen vehicle, stolen from somebody with a high-powered weapon, involved in a carjacking. 2 suspects, police say, may be involved in AK-47. This driver, we've been watching this maybe for the last 20 minutes or so. This started in Miami-Dade County, was on the Florida Turnpike northbound for a good 20 minutes
Okay,
or
Lynn,
so.
I'm back with you.
Yep.
You see the vehicle there go into oncoming traffic, into the lanes of oncoming traffic, not a lot of traffic, and then zip back and forth right there past the work crew there. Again, this is happening on Lyons Road. We're coming up to the Sawgrass Expressway here. It'll be in that area. Just missed the curb, the edge of the curb right there. For folks just tuning in, this was a police chase that's been going on now for about 15 to 20 minutes, I would say. A vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed coming up from South Dade was allegedly involved in an armed carjacking. Here we go. We got
Now getting on the
stopping
highway.
underneath the bridge here and trying to make a U-turn. Look like he's going to try to get on the Sawgrass. He's
Yep, now
bound
we're
on
going
the feeder
southbound.
road that goes onto the Sawgrass Expressway right here. So from Lyons Road. So they've continued, and there are still vehicles following. There's a Florida Highway Patrol vehicle. You'll see it here at the very bottom of the screen here in just a second. Right there, you can see it just for a split second, and we'll go back in and focus on the
So this driver now has made a big U-turn, as you heard Ralph say. I'll just interrupt while we get his picture back. It's now on the Sawgrass Expressway, northbound Broward County. Let's peek in now and listen to Ralph.
An area down in South Dade off of Dixie Highway in the deep 200 of South Dixie at gunpoint, and they're taken from the driver and reported stolen at that time, and the police department down there, Miami-Dade, read out the BOLO of this vehicle. They put it on a sheet, on a board. All the municipalities get it. Now we're on the turnpike coming southbound. They just got on the turnpike from the Sawgrass, and we were back coming southbound. Continue to be followed by helicopter and ground units from both the Florida Highway Patrol and Miami-Dade County. There are other agencies that are have been advised of this right now that we understand. We haven't seen it because they're pretty much focused on the vehicle itself because it's going so fast right here. But it is now southbound on the turnpike here. So let me see if I can set a couple things up here.
Well,
And,
the good
give
news
you
is, while you're fixing your...
shows you and something that shows you the speed, indication of the speed that this vehicle is going here. So
Luckily, there,
I've gotta
it seems to be
set this
light
up here.
traffic at this point.
Apologize for doing this on the air, but that happens sometimes when with the immediacy of it. We just passed, I'm being told that's that sample road right there. So so it's going pretty fast here. So let me here. We're going to try this here. Destination 9, source 7. So now at home you should have a speedometer at the upper right-hand corner of your screen there, and as once it calibrates here, it'll get set. Let me focus back in on the vehicle, and you can actually see how fast the vehicle is going right here. It'll calibrate down to, let's see here, it's going to take a second for it to do it, but again, vehicle now in the breakdown lane of the turnpike, southbound, just past Sample Road. It's going around the corner there, so we're going to
So it
lose it
looks
here
like
in
it's
the
going
trees for
well
a
over
second.
100.
And looks like he might be trying to get off at the exit ramp. He decides to avoid the exit ramp and continues southbound. So again, as we said before, a vehicle that was taken is in an armed carjacking, continues southbound on the turnpike. It went all the way as far north up into just to the edges of Palm Beach County there, and before it turned around, got back on the Sawgrass and then intersected to the turnpike to go south, to continue southbound again, trying to elude police. It is believed at this point that at least one of the people in that vehicle, they believe there are two, and one of them may be armed. So we're going to continue to provide these pictures to you, Lynn. We'll take a breather here and toss it back to you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ralph. Ralph is going to stay on these pictures, and we're going to clear up our communication. But if you're just now joining us, you're looking at a live picture of a breaking, developing story now in northern Broward County. A police pursuit for the past 25, 30 minutes or so started in Miami-Dade County, as Ralph told us earlier, as an armed carjacking. Somebody who apparently had this Lexus sports car says he or she was robbed, basically at gunpoint, when two suspects, we believe, jumped in the car and took off. The car was reported stolen, and there the police pursuit ensued. Started in Miami-Dade County, went northbound to several different counties. Basically, this driver made a big U-turn, went all the way up to Palm Beach County, got back on the turnpike again, endangering so many people's lives, going, it looks to be, if Ralph's speedometer is correct here, well over 100 miles an hour. A lot of times in the shoulder or the breakdown lanes of the left and right side, just flying past all these cars there on the turnpike. The good news is, if there is any, there does seem to be light traffic, thank goodness. And, you know, a lot of people listen to their music. Cars. Go ahead, Ralph. You needed to say something?
Okay. Yeah, every once in a while I can hear your voice, and I'm glad I can. Thank you. We're just passing Executive Airport. That's going to be Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport, and so that's in the area of Commercial Boulevard southbound on the turnpike. Here you see this white Lexus sport vehicle coming up to Commercial, as we said, and traveling, as you said, at a high rate of speed here, trying to elude police officers. They are on their radios, they are in the helicopter, they are on the in their cruisers, and they are following and pursuing this vehicle as he takes the exit ramp, Joe. He's going to be curving around in front of us right here. Yeah, he can go either way. We just have to see here now if he's going to go east or west when he gets to the base of the exit here, but he's coming around, making a sweeping left-hand turn here. He's going to go around slower traffic very dangerously there as he goes over the overpass of the turnpike here, just towards Commercial. He's slowing down, and it looks like we're going to have a bailout here. At least one person is getting out of the vehicle. You see somebody with a gun, with a rifle over there, trying to get somebody out of the vehicle. Again, we caution our viewers that that person was not going to let him in. was not going to let him in. Very dangerous situation here, frightening for the driver there of that vehicle as it continues now, that white vehicle. So again, our warning to people at home as we air this video live that we have no control over what's going to be happening down there. We provide the pictures and the commentary, and Lynn, I'll toss it back to you here just for a second here.
Yeah, that was incredible. I don't think we've seen that ever, at least not in my experience here on television. That we saw the suspect in the passenger side get out of the car. Looks like he had some sort of weapon in his hand. Tried to get to the stranger in the car behind him. Couldn't get in the car, and then jump back into this white Lexus that police say was stolen. Wow, sign of major desperation. And then goodness, that driver in that gray car kept his or her wits about him or her and did not open the door or roll down the window.
They're going to try it again.
Where are
They're
they
going to
now?
try it again. Both parked the vehicle, both getting out now with a gun trying to get somebody to get out of the vehicle here. They're threatening the person to get out of the vehicle to get the keys. They're forcing the car door open here. They've got the person to get that person out. Tell them.
Again, I want to warn people,
Yeah,
this is a live picture. This is a breaking story. You just witnessed a crime
That vehicle's
happen.
backing up. It's hit the other vehicle. Now we have officers arriving here at gunpoint here. Weapons drawn, backing up. We're going to stay with the vehicle. We have a bailout. We have one person running. We know that person's going to be taken into custody there. Now the vehicle has been switched to a Tesla. There's a police car that just missed that vehicle. They're going to be backing up here. They're going towards that vehicle. They know that there are rifles involved here. The police department knows there are rifles. They just hit another car. We're going to provide these pictures here. They just alluded there. We've seen now a police officer ram it with his truck. He's got his weapon drawn. He's telling the guy to get out of that vehicle, to stand down. We'll see what happens here, but we're going to stay on this picture as we believe the other suspect is now either being taken to, we believe he's being taken into custody, but we're going to stay in this picture, obviously.
Right, and if we could move that banner and see the police officer down to the left there, thanks Ralph, demanding that this driver get out of the car. I guess you could call it a pit maneuver. Successfully stopped this driver from the second stolen car. We saw a few minutes ago the passenger
Car doors
round.
open, Lynn. He's getting out. He's on the ground. He's on the ground. He's complying with police orders there to give it up. Give it up, and now he's going to try to make a run for it. He's not going to get far. He's not going to get
Looking at a live
far.
picture of the
He's into
suspect,
it.
the driver taking off on foot. Ralph's got
Right,
a nice
he's in
white
the yard
picture.
there between the two houses there. We'll try to stay with him here. We have the police officers from multi-agencies here. He's now crossed over the roadway there.
Looks like he's taking off a jacket. He had a black jacket on, crossing the roadway, going into maybe this canal, it looks like, getting
Looks
in the
like
water.
he is, yeah. He's jumped into the water there.
Swimming.
He's jumped into the water.
Okay, so
Oh, my.
okay, so he took off his black jacket. He's swimming. Maybe I think he might even taken off his shoes. Looks like socks
Yeah.
there. I'm not sure. Swimming to the other side of the canal.
Yeah, there's a police helicopter right above telling the agents where all the officers where he is. They can see him right now. The guy's telling them, where are you going to go? What are you going to do there?
There you can
They're
see him.
sending officers to the other side of the street here, to the other block. He's now, let's see where he's right, well, he's in between two houses there, so we're just going to hang right here. He's got to come out one side or the other.
Well, and you hope to God that the people in these homes either are not home and their doors are locked. I mean, just the brazen crimes that we saw happen in the last 20 minutes by these two
There he is.
suspects.
All right, he's now moved in between these two homes. He's running across the street right here. Yeah, as you said before, he shedded his jacket and he's just in the neighborhood. I don't know if he's familiar with this
running in
area and he's
socks.
going home or trying to get home. That does happen sometimes in these cases where the suspect or the
Looks
person
like he's
that's
getting
being
tired.
pursued by police, just tries to get home. He's getting winded. Adrenaline is probably pretty much drained out of him right now, so he's going to slow down here very shortly. But again, the police helicopter is above and telling the officers where he is, giving them an exact description, reading off a map of exactly where this guy is. So we are going to stay with this. The other scene is behind us now. For people who are just
Okay.
tuning in, there was a police chase that covered a couple of counties involving a
Looks like he's taking a breather, Ralph.
yeah.
You're looking at a
involving
suspect right there in the white shirt
Right.
on the right-hand side trying to elude police. To the left of your picture is what just happened in the last few minutes. He was driving that stolen white van, and now he's picking up, again, a little light jog without any shoes, wet clothes, after He's trying to get into that car, maybe trying to
Right
break into
now,
a house.
he's trying the car now. He may be trying the front door of this house right here. So
Yeah.
we'll bring the camera back out here and see if we can get information as to exactly what this address is for you.
So we're in central
yeah.
Broward County, and you just
Right
watched.
off of Northwest 54th Street is going to be the address here. Just to the south of, I believe it's just to the south of Commercial Boulevard.
Let me just jump in. What you're looking at, viewers, if you're just now joining us, to the left is the end of a very, very dangerous police chase of an alleged stolen vehicle. That happened, the pictures on your left happened just a few minutes ago. The picture to your right is a live picture brought to you by Ralph and Joe of the suspect who's taking off on foot after swimming in that canal and just running through the neighborhood, seemingly aimlessly, looking for, trying that van, the door of the van, trying to open it, and is somewhere around that particular house. You can see, I mean, police are hot on his tail. They know exactly
There's
where
the
he's
police
at.
have just shown up at the house. They're here at the house, being guided by the aviation unit from Dade County. They patch all the radios together. This woman right here is telling them, just told the police officers, I saw this guy running through in my backyard, and now had come next door. He was looking at the, I guess that's a Honda there, that Honda SUV, trying to jiggle the handle of the door right there. But they do have an officer now stationed in front of the house. It does not appear at this point that the person, the suspect, who was weaponized there, who had a rifle at one point, got rid of, or at least left the rifle in the vehicle when he started to give up. And as we showed you that live, it looked like he was going to, what's the word I'm looking for? When he was going to give up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or give up,
surrender.
yeah.
So
Right.
he was going to surrender, and then he jumped up and fled wearing that red hoodie, and which he took off, and as he jumped in the canal there to try to elude the police, but it's going to be to no avail here right now.
Let's look at this. Stay with your live picture right here. So we have a police officer there at the bottom of our screen behind this, looks like silver van. And it looks like the garage to that particular door may be open, or maybe it's one of those, garages.
Yeah, so
that-
we have a canine officer here now. Canine officer just arriving. We've got other officers here. They've identified the house. They know the location. They know the suspect's in there somewhere. They'll either use the dog right quickly here, or do a reassessment. Of course, the information that's being broadcast over the radio is that these subjects are armed, so of course
Right.
police are going to take all precaution. But right now they pretty much have the house surrounded. They're going to make sure there's no escape path, no escape route for this, and hopefully this will end here in the next couple of minutes.
Well, I mean, this particular suspect certainly has communicated that he is not giving up. So if we want to go over what we just saw in the last 30 minutes or so, high-speed, dangerous chase through several counties, big U-turn back here in Broward
else
County, trying to carjack one particular driver to get out. Driver did not get out of the vehicle, successfully carjacked another driver in that white van at gunpoint, and then took off with one of the suspects running and this particular suspect getting in the car. being hit by police and taking off on foot, swimming through the canal, running through neighborhoods, and now somewhere in the vicinity of this particular home refusing also to give up. Look what you're seeing on your left-hand side there. That was the first attempted carjacking that we saw live here on the air. They tried to get in that gray car, didn't work, kept going, kept driving, stopped at another side road, put a gun out to... Another driver looked to be in a white van, and that driver got out. What that person must have been feeling, what the fear that must have been going through him, put his hands up, let his car be taken over, and that's when they crashed the white van, and police got one of the suspects who took off on foot, and the second, I think this might have been the driver, yes, this was the driver on the left-hand side of that stolen white van who just took off from police on foot, took off his shoes, took off his black jacket, and swam across this canal and ran through several neighborhoods. And the end result is the live picture that you're looking at on the right-hand side. The suspect is somewhere in the vicinity of this particular home that police are at. Several, well, I think at least one canine, but several officers on ground and in the air trying to get their guy. So, Ralph, we saw him the last we saw him run was around that silver van that's parked in the driveway. Is that correct?
Right. As it turns out, Lynn, from this side of the, coming around to this side of the house here, we can see what appears that the garage door is open to the house.
Right.
Whether he had the passcode to it, or whether it was open because somebody else was there, or whether he knocked on the door and they opened the garage. We don't know what happened, but you can see the garage door right in front of those two vehicles is open, and we believe, and I think the police down there believe, that he is inside the house right now. You can see we've got officers with canine officers both in front and behind the house right now, all around the house, with weapons drawn, ready for any possibility, any outcome here. So, and the police officers are heavily armed here. For folks who just turned in a short time ago, just tuning in right now, there was a vehicle that was taken in an armed carjacking down in South Dade. They put out a bolo for that vehicle. It was a white Lexus sports type vehicle, capable of high rates of speed, which they displayed during the police chase that occurred after that vehicle was spotted, based on its license tag number on a plate reader down in Dade County. They launched their aviation unit, or that aviation unit was up. That's a helicopter. It spotted the vehicle, followed it, got on the radio, was patched together with both Broward County and all the other agencies that are in that area, from down deep in South Dade all the way up here, and they followed that vehicle up the turnpike. It took them on a crazy ride all the way up past the Sawgrass Expressway up into deep Broward County, right on the edge of Palm Beach County, drove around in the neighborhoods, driving in the wrong lanes of traffic into oncoming traffic, blowing traffic lights and stop signs, putting civilians at great danger. In the meantime, the police department, using the helicopter, just stayed above with units from the Florida Highway Patrol and from Miami-Dade Police Department following behind. And of course, when it got up into Broward, the Broward Sheriff's Office also got their people involved with this and in the pursuit of this vehicle, but from a safe distance there, and let the helicopter call out where the vehicle was and what they were doing. At the point where the weapons were shown, early in that bolo, they said that there were automatic rifles were used in that robbery attempt, the armed carjacking. So police, of course, were super cautious with that. And then we saw live on the air a passenger of one vehicle at an intersection get out and display that weapon, trying to get the driver of the vehicle on the exit ramp of the turnpike to Commercial Boulevard there to come eastbound, to try to get him to get out of the vehicle. That person did not comply. The passenger got back in the car. It fled again for a better part of maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then stopped again at an intersection behind the vehicle.
To jest to są niestety. Czysty. Ten go widzieli. Do boga potkanej za nami.